18 years ago, I started chasing a dream, right here from the isolated forests of Sweden. I started chasing my dream of becoming a professional footballer. Year by year, I relentlessly pursued a football career. I made mistake after mistake. I celebrated important milestones and I cried when not living up to my own sky-high expectations. And 15 years in 2022, I celebrated arguably the most important milestone yet. I signed my first professional contract. I spent 2 years at the professional level and I got a taste of what it was like. I scored my first professional goals, made assists, and put in some great performances. But I also struggled with lack of playing time, injuries, and more. At the end of 2024, heading into 2025, I made a decision to step away from team football for the first time in 18 years as I continued with Project Reborn, an initiative where I strive to be reborn as a footballer, as an athlete, and as a person. It was the right time for me to step away and to try to find the answers to the questions that I've started to ask myself. But during this time away, I've come to a realization: I'm not done with football. Even though it's not quite the time yet, I will be back. But how exactly am I planning to make my comeback into professional football? The most memorable thing so far in my career probably was when I signed that first pro contract. It was an incredible feeling to finally feel all that hard work paying off. But the most valuable thing so far in my career has not been that pro contract. It was all of the things that I learned along the way. How to train, how to recover, and how to perform out on the field. In the first 15 years of my career, I learned all of the necessary skills and the proper mindset techniques you need to become a pro footballer. But now it's about taking all of those things that I learned, share them with you, and then become a pro footballer again. In this video, I will show you my exact plan of how I will get back into the professional level of football. And I will do so by walking you through the 4 different phases, where each phase is carefully designed to give me the best possible chance of making my professional comeback possible. What training I will do, how much, how will I sleep, how will I eat, how will I recover, when and how will I reach out to teams, and when the time has come to make my comeback. I will basically share everything. If you ever wanted a full, real-life example of how to become a pro footballer from a pro footballer's perspective, this is the video for you. But if you're not ready to listen to all 4 phases and get to complete perspective, then this video may not be for you. And also, this video will be very honest. If you're not ready for that, you may want to tune away right now. But if you're ready, and if you got the same goals as me, and if you're willing to do everything it takes to make your football dreams come true, then let's dive in. Welcome to Project Reborn, and welcome to exactly how I will become a pro footballer again. Before we actually get started, it's important to explain that I'm not only planning to become a professional footballer again, but together with that, I'm training to become one of the best 800-meter runners in Sweden in the Superhuman Initiative. I don't view this as 2 different pursuits, but more so as a joint mission to become the fittest footballer I can possibly become on my way back to pro football. The plan and the program is designed to make those things happen at specific points in time over the coming year. That could be something like me running intervals on the track with the goal of maintaining a high speed for longer before lactate builds up, but it's something that will also help my ability to perform more high-intensity runs on the pitch at faster paces and recover quicker in between those runs. So in the end, running will only assist me in becoming a drastically fitter footballer. And I've already seen proof of this with the training that I've done so far, but more on that later. The second reason that I'm pursuing this 800-meter goals, and this is something that I've explained in previous videos, but it's the goal that motivates me the most right now. And this is something I think you need to understand as well for your own situation. There will always be an optimal path out there of how you should do things, but that may not necessarily be your path. You need to find ways to make your path the optimal path. To set a goal that lights a fire within you with where you are right now in your career. A goal that gets you to wake up every morning with a drive to improve and to reach your goal. If you've been following the channel for the last year, you know that this took quite a time for me to figure out, so don't worry if you don't have it all figured out by now. But try to make an effort to sit down and to really find your ultimate goal. Earlier this year, I started losing that drive I've had basically all my life, so I understood that I needed to figure out a way to bring it back. I needed to figure out a new path for me to walk that still aligns with my long-term goal of playing professional football. And that path eventually became the path that I'm walking today, the hybrid footballer path. So now that you understand my thought process behind everything, I will start revealing the plan, but we will not start with where we are right now, we will start with where we want to end up. Start at the finish line, reverse engineering. Why do we start where we want to finish? Because then we can go through with something called reverse engineering, which makes it easier for us to see the path ahead. We will visualize our road ahead by focusing on our end goal of becoming a pro footballer again. So, since my Superhuman Initiative goal concludes in July 2026, I want to give myself a good amount of time after that to prepare for my pro football comeback. In Sweden, the football pre-season starts in January, and that is also the time when most players go on trial for pro clubs. For example, when I signed my first pro contract in 2022, it was at the start of February, and I spent the first weeks of January trialing with the club. January 2027 therefore seems like the perfect time to go on trials, leaving me with about 4 to 5 months of dedicated football work to prepare. January 2027 then becomes the deadline that I'm working towards. If you're following along, the first step is to set your own deadline, and it doesn't matter if it's 3 months away or if it's 10 years away, you just write it down so you have something clear to aim for. From there, I'll break the timeline down into 4 phases. The reason we split things up like this is because you can't focus on everything at once. You need different blocks of time with a clear focus so that your body has time to adapt to the training. This approach is called periodization, and it's what every elite athlete and team in the world actually uses, where you shift your training focus across the year so that you peak at the right time. As a rule of thumb, give yourself about 3 to 4 months per phase before switching focus. And don't just copy my exact phases. You can if you want to, of course, but try to tweak them to your own timeline. For me, phase 1 ran now in May, June and July of 2025. And now August have been kind of a phase 1.5, you could say, where I've actually been playing with my childhood club for 2 games, and I trained with them for a couple of weeks. And during that time, I didn't want to focus on running because that would just have been too much for my body. So I soaked up the adaptations from the first 3 months from phase 1, and then I headed into phase 1.5, where I just focus on being ready for the games and getting back out on the pitch. And if you want to watch that video, it's probably my favorite video that I've ever created and probably my best one. You can watch that up here. It's called I Returned to My Childhood Club 12 Years Later. It's a really emotional homecoming story. One that I truly enjoyed making. So if that sounds like something for you, you can find it up here or in the Project Reborn playlist on my channel. Now, phase 2 begins in September and runs through the winter, and I call it simply the winter arc. And to reveal a little secret, if you don't know about it yet, this phase will actually take place in Italy. Phase 3 will start in March or April of 2026, where I will start focus on competing and sharpening my performance. And finally, phase 4 begins in August of 2026, with the final push before going on trials in January 2027. So now you can see the big picture. 4 phases laid out in front of us, where each one has a different focus, but together they build towards the same destination, bringing out the very best of me both on the track and on the pitch. And the aim is clear: to reach and be ready to compete at the Nationals in the 800 meters in July 2026, and then to be prepared for professional football trials in January 2027. But before we look ahead, let's go back to May of this year, the start of phase 1, to see the foundation I've already built and to see the amazing results that I've had so far. The aerobic base, phase 1, 12 weeks. So phase 1 actually started back in May and ran for 12 weeks, where the main goal was to build an incredibly strong aerobic base. At this point, I'd been out of team football for almost 6 months, and I'd started to lose some of the important physical qualities that you need to have as a high-level footballer, like your strength, your endurance, your change of direction capabilities. And without a strong physical base, including your strength and your endurance, there's a big risk for injuries, whatever sport you decide to pursue. And that's why it was important to first build up my aerobic base again to my previous levels, and then to build it to a level where it really haven't been before. And when I look back to phase 1 and the aerobic base building that I've been doing in the Superhuman Initiative, the results are clear. My VO2 max, which is basically the measure of how much oxygen your body can use during intense exercise, has risen from the mid-50s to the mid-60s. And what's crazy is that I haven't even started proper VO2 max training yet. My heart has become more efficient too. I can now hold higher speeds at a much lower heart rate than before. I'll build training volume week by week, and my times across different distances are improving. For example, my 10K time went from 44 minutes down to 38:51. My 1K time went from 3 minutes 23 seconds to 2 minutes 56 seconds, and I broke that 3-minute barrier for the first time. And all of this matters for one reason. Over 90 minutes of football, this means that I'll be able to last longer, recover quicker between sprints, and still make key contributions at the end of the game when everyone else is slowing down. And that was phase 1. But now we're heading into phase 2, and that starts actually tomorrow as I leave Sweden for the first time in my life and I'm moving to Italy. And that's why in just a few seconds I'll see you in Italy. So welcome to phase 2 and to the 𝗥𝗘𝗕𝗢𝗥𝗡, and welcome to Italy. So it's been almost 1.5 months since I recorded that first part at home in Sweden, and now I've been here in Italy for 1.5 months, and I wanted to speak on an important topic that I've noticed since I came here, and that is that it takes some time to adapt to a new country and a new culture and, you know, a new way of life in a new environment. And I really wasn't able to perform the training that I thought I would be able to at the start. We traveled a lot, we saw a lot of Italy, and I think that's something you have to live a life as well. You can't just focus in, and I wanted to take this opportunity to, you know, to travel and to see the country, and I don't regret it because I can always get back to the training. But anyways, we're here. I've been training, of course, but it's not been as structured and as consistently as maybe I would have liked now in the start here. But we're heading into the 𝗥𝗘𝗕𝗢𝗥𝗡, which is phase 2 of the plan that I've laid out for 2025 and heading into 2026. And this phase will go from the start of September, which it did, now into October, and then all the way until February of 2026. And that is basically when I will leave Italy and head back to Sweden. And all this training will take place, as I said, here in Italy, which is a new environment, and I have to find new pitches, I have to find paths where I can do my running and all that kind of stuff. So that's been the focus of this first 1.5 month, one of the things at least. But we have started university again a couple of weeks ago, so now is a great time to get back into routines and get back into the groove and to be consistent with the training once again, which will be massively important if I want to achieve my goal of becoming a pro footballer again later on, which I will talk about, and also my goal within the Superhuman Initiative of reaching the 800-meter finals next year in July of 2026. So what is the difference from phase 1 to phase 2 in terms of the training? Well, in phase 1, the focus was a lot on building that base, that aerobic base, and that meant a lot of volume, but a lot of low intensity training. And that will switch now as we head into phase 2, as the volume will slightly drop. I will still do a lot of training, but it will be higher intensity. So the slower zone 2 runs, I will do less of, and I will do shorter sessions, threshold sessions, where I go for a faster speed at a higher heart rate, so I train my body to be able to sustain those higher speeds for longer, basically. I will do more interval work at the track, where I will focus on, you know, going really fast, 100-meter, 200-meter, 400-meter intervals, where I go at an even quicker pace than I intend to go for my 800-meter runs, but so that I can train to repeat high speeds often. And that is something that you do out on the football pitch as well, so that will translate really well into my football-specific cardio work. And then towards the end of phase 2, we'll shift slightly more again towards more speed work. So even lower volume of training, but we will go for even higher intensity, and we will need more rest when we go at those really high speeds that we'll do towards the end of phase 2. And the gym will be a really important place now during the winter. It's a place where I'll focus a lot on building that important strength so that I can keep doing all of the training, of course, but get even stronger and even quicker in the process, of course. You will be able to follow that along if you follow the videos that I will post now during the winter arc and heading into 2026, but I will show you more of the training, of course. Haven't really started yet, so of course that is something that will come, but it will be focused in like 2 different ways. So we have the track and field, the gym work, and then we have the football gym work, and of course they translate pretty well into each other. You want a strong body, no matter which sport you pursue, but there will be slight changes, and I will need to incorporate certain exercises that is more football specific so that I don't lose those qualities altogether while I train for the goals within the Superhuman initiative. So the track will be a place where I spend a lot of time, the gym 3-4 times a week, I guess, the football pitch, slightly less now during the winter arc, but still, I guess, 2 times a week, 3 times a week maybe, depending on how I feel. And virtual reality is also that I'm spending a lot of time, and if you haven't followed my channel, you know that I'm a great advocate for VR and for Be Your Best. When you're training alone, one of the hardest things to maintain is your football brain, your awareness, your decision making, the ability to see what's happening before it happens, and that's why Be Your Best has become such an important part of my journey. I've been training inside their VR system since November 2023, approaching 2 years now, and it's still one of the most powerful tools that I use. Every time I put the headset on, it feels like I'm stepping into a new environment where I can sharpen my reactions, my scanning, and my speed of thought, all without even needing a pitch or teammates. And that's the thing right now, as I'm preparing for my comeback and balancing everything between content creation, business, football, athletics, and university, it's not easy to fit in more training hours. But with Be Your Best, I can perform high-quality reps for my brain whenever I want, from my apartment here in Italy or anywhere I travel. All it takes is a few minutes to set up, and I'm straight into realistic, game-like scenarios that challenge my vision and awareness exactly like in real football. That's why, even though I'm training more as a hybrid athlete right now, this still keeps me connected to the football side of who I am. So when I finally step back onto the pitch, my mind will be just as sharp as my body. If you want to start training your brain like a pro footballer, you can check out Be Your Best using the link below, and also use my code OJ20 for a 20% discount on your first month or first year of your own Be Your Best subscription. A huge thanks to Be Your Best for sponsoring this video. Now, back to Italy. But yeah, I've been here for 1.5 months. I really started to adapt to the country, maybe not to the language, that's something I still have to work on, but I'm taking Italian classes, and things are heading in the right direction, but there's a lot of months left here, and I will try to not only focus on my own journey and all that, but I want to try to experience the country, experience the culture. I want to meet more of you guys. So if there's any of you that's based in Italy or maybe Switzerland or a country close by, send me a DM on Instagram and maybe we can meet up, go for a training session or something like that. But yeah, most of the training will be spent alone here, and that is something that I've gotten used to now during Project Reborn, that it's up to me. I don't have a team. I don't have any team trainings that make me accountable to go to training. It's all on me if I want to achieve my goals. So yeah, a time of adaptation and a time of experiencing new things, but also a time of solitude at times, and we'll see how I'll be able to handle that. But you will be here, of course, you will watch these videos, and I hope we can go through this together, basically. But yeah, right now, obviously, we're in phase 2, but we also have the future to look to and the plan that I have after Italy, and I will speak more about that in just a moment. So, welcome to the track 𝗥𝗘𝗕𝗢𝗥𝗡 here in Pavia, and this is where I'll spend a lot of the time now in phase 2 to prepare for the upcoming phase 3 that I will talk about now. So, phase 3 will really be the phase where everything that we do now comes into fruition, because that is competition time, and that starts in March or April of 2026, and that is when we'll start competing in different track and field events in the 800 meters to start getting a feel for it and to start getting the results that I need to qualify for nationals in July. And in this competition phase, the focus will be less on the training and more on competing. And to be able to peak ourselves in this time, we will lower the training volume, which is quite the opposite from what we do now in the winter arc in phase 2. We will lower the volume, we will raise the intensity, so work at higher speeds, but a lot less reps and a lot less sessions during the week to be able to get ourselves in the best possible shape to be able to compete in the events. In football, this is often handled by your coaches, where they put less sessions in a week or they lower the intensity just to be able to get you in the best possible shape for the upcoming game on the weekend, or if you have a midweek game. And that is also true, especially if you have multiple games a week. If you play 2 games a week, you want to do even less training, because training yourself into the ground is not the goal and when it's time to compete and play games or run in track and field events, but more so to be able to peak and perform during those times, and that's the most important thing. And then you have to lower your training volume, because what happens when you lower your training volume is that you allow your body to soak up all the adaptations from your previous training. So the training that I do now will break my body down over the long term, but then once I lower the training volume and I do more high speed and just trying to maintain that, that is when I will be at my absolute peak physical powers and be able to post the best results come March, April, May, and heading into the summer of 2026. And then once we actually reach July 2026, the 24th of July, we'll see if I've got what it takes to qualify for the 800 meter nationals. And of course, it's gonna be an incredibly tough thing. Never been in athletics before in my life, been playing football, but this is a challenge that I really want to take on. And I believe that I have what it takes, otherwise I wouldn't do it. But by then we will see if I succeed or not with reaching it. But whatever happens after this period, and once we approach the summer of 2026, I'll be at my peak physical powers. So no matter what happens, I'll be able to head into phase 4 in a really great place. And then the Superhuman Initiative concludes at the end of July 2026, and we arrive in the very last phase, in phase 4. And phase 4 will really be the end of this period, and maybe even the end of Project Reborn, where in August of 2026, I go forward with once again trying to sign a new professional contract. And that's when my focus shifts from my athletic pursuits in track and field back to just the football part. And phase 4 will be basically the true journey back to professional football, where the football trainings will resume, for more football-specific movements, more football-specific work in the gym. I will have to start reaching out to new teams and coaches around Sweden, and then the end goal is to go on a trial in January of 2027 or the end of 2026 during the winter period. And of course, it's more than a year until we're there, and I don't know exactly what will happen, but what I do know for sure is that if you subscribe to the channel, you will not miss anything. You will see if I succeed or not with my goals in the Superhuman Initiative. You will see what happens at the end of 2026, and if I get back to professional football, or if I decide to go another way. But that is my plan for right now, and I really hope you got a better view of where I'm currently at and where I want to go. But what will also happen during this period and large parts of 2026 is that it will start building towards the future that I envision for this channel, and I've already started mentioning it. And that is probably what makes me the most excited right now, besides for my own athletic pursuits, is where I think that I can take this channel and the impact that this channel can have on all footballers around the world, or anyone interested in football. So that is something that I'm truly excited for, and I have to build towards that, because right now it's not really possible to make it what I truly want to make it. But if we can keep growing the channel and keep growing the reach that we have with the videos, I'm sure that we can build something really great together. And I'm also pretty sure that during this period, it's more than a year, things will change. My mind will change on different things, but I have to go with the plan that I feel is the most important right now. And I think that's something you have to learn as well, because your opinion and what you think of who you are and what you want to do, those things will change in time. You will plan right now for what you think you want in 5 or 10 years, but I can tell you that that will most likely change, but you can never plan for that. And that was a mistake that I usually made when I was younger. I tried to plan for everything, but I realized that you cannot really do that. You have to surrender, you have to give in, and just be present and plan for what you want right now. So that is one of the biggest tips that I can give you. Try not to plan everything out into detail, because it's not possible. It will not be possible. Plan for today, plan for the next year, plan for the next 5 years, but also be ready to make a change on those plans. And there's nothing wrong with that. But yeah, now I'm here in Italy. I'm here in Pavia for the next 4, 5, 6 months, don't know. And I will try to make this chapter the best that it can possibly be. And if you made it all the way to the end of this video, I want you to comment the pro club so I know which players will join me on this journey on my way back to pro football, or maybe it's your first time getting to that professional contract. Whatever your situation may be, comment the pro club down below so I know which players made it to the end of this video. And if you're excited for the future, you can also comment cinema football, because that is what this channel will be all about in the coming years. And I'm truly so excited to build this thing, to be able to make that change in the world of football that I envision. I need your help. And yeah, don't really have much else to say now. It's already been a very long video, but I'll see you in the next one, where I'll probably show you a glimpse of what life is like as a footballer, hybrid footballer down here in Italy. But that's all for this time. Take care, and I'll see you in the next one.